Hello, friends. It's so good to be with you. I'm leading Advent Yoga once again, and I don't know about you, but I just got out of a car on a long car trip, so I am looking forward to a delicious, calming, stretching practice. I'm bringing you Advent Yoga again, this season of waiting, of expectation, of joy, of darkness. There's a lot of richness to rest in and explore as we feel able to do so in this season. So I'm looking forward to doing that with you the next few weeks. One of the things that we experience so much in this season is expectation. Expecting so much of ourselves, hoping and expecting the interactions we have with others to be a certain way, perhaps hoping and expecting for perfection in some ways, or nostalgia for our present to reach the heights of our past or to surpass them, which is a heavy burden to carry. I wonder if perhaps in this practice we can surrender some of our expectation while we also can hold on to hope. Join me in a comfortable seated position. For you, that might be cross-legged on the floor. I have a block. You could use a stack of a few books, a pillow, a sofa cushion. You might be seated on your heels. You might be seated on your heels on a block. Whatever seems to be a comfortable position for you that helps you to feel awake and grounded. We'll take a few deep breaths together, allowing your eyes to float closed if that's comfortable for you. And some of the work of letting go of expectations is just to notice that we have them. So in preparation and practice for that, let us notice our breath. You can even tell yourself, I am inhaling and I am exhaling. Allowing your spine to lengthen as much as is comfortable for you, perhaps feeling the back of your neck stretching longer as if there's a thread pulling the top of your head up. Maybe not the front of your head, your chin, but the back of your head. Elongating these beautiful muscles along the back of our necks. Roll your shoulders forward and up toward your ears, and back and down. These circles can be as small or large, as fast or slow as feels good to you. Or maybe going forward doesn't feel good, so you just go up. Maybe going up doesn't feel good, so you just go back. Maybe you're just exploring the range of movement in your shoulders. Perhaps let go of the expectation that they are circles, but you're exploring the parts of your mobility, maybe especially the sticky parts. As you feel ready, drift your arms down by your sides. If you're cross-legged, your hands might be on the floor. And bring your right hand out toward the side, your left arm up and over, stretching that left side body. Maybe you expected to stretch a little further, and that's a little bit too much for you today. Bring yourself back to center. Stretch that left hand out, your right out and up and over any amount. You can be static or dynamic, moving a little bit to explore the different places that you can feel the stretch in that side body. Maybe opening yourself up a bit to the sky, or curling down toward the ground, or just staying in one place and allowing it to settle deep. Bring yourself back up to center. As you feel ready, rock yourself forward onto your hands and knees. If this is hard on your wrists, you can always fold over your yoga mat, or perhaps you have a beach towel, or if this is really just too much stress for your joints, you can always come to a seated position and do the same movements with your spine from a seated position, even in a chair. We're going to drop the belly down toward the floor, shine the face up toward the sky. And then reverse that curve, tucking your pelvic bone and your chin toward your chest. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. Exhale into cat. Inhale, drop the belly down. Exhale, reverse the curve of your spine. Inhale. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow when we're round. And exhale. Bring yourself back to a neutral spine. We might call this tabletop. If it feels all right, inhale your left arm up toward the sky. And then as you exhale, bring that left arm toward your right side, threading through your right hand and your right knee, any amount. You might bring your shoulder all the way down to the mat. You might just rest your hand on the floor, feeling that stretch through your back body. Inhale and exhale. Letting go of any expectation of what this shape might look like or what you're getting out of it. Our only work in this practice is to breathe. So you feel ready, bring yourself back up to center. Inhale, drop your belly toward the floor. Exhale, spine up toward the sky. And then as you're ready, bring your right arm up and stretch your right arm between your left hand and your left knee, any amount. Might be a stretch right here, or you might bring it lower toward the ground. You could even bring your left hand down your body toward your right hip. Inhale and exhale. One more inhale and exhale. Bring yourself back to center. Maybe move through cat and cow if that will help you reset. Another thing that you can always do is move side to side. We can do a crunch toward the right, a crunch toward the left, kind of working on the obliques here, bringing dynamic movement to where we might have been statically stretching our muscles before. And then from here, we're gonna come back into child's pose. You might bring your knees a little bit wider than your hips. Sink your hips back toward your heels. You might stretch your hands forward along the mat. If this is way too far and way too intense, another thing that you can do is put your head on a block. Another thing that you can do is put a cushion or a rolled up blanket or a pillow to support your torso. Let me show you what that looks like real fast. So you can put a pillow or a cushion right here and stretch yourself over it. This is child's pose. Perhaps notice if you're gripping anywhere. I'm going to show you what it looks like from the side. We'll carefully move our minds through our bodies for a minute here. Is your jaw tense? Is your tongue relaxed? Do you feel stress in your neck? How do your shoulders feel? Can you melt your body toward the floor or to the cushion? Can you let go of any gripping in the muscles of your hips or low back? Can you let go of any gripping in your thighs or calves? Can you release any of the tension in your feet? Notice yourself being held by the earth. So often our bodies are stuck in a state of expecting to defend ourselves, expecting to need to move quickly, being on our guard, expecting to be attacked. What might it be like to let go of that expectation for a moment? To trust the earth to hold us. If you're ready to move on, I want you to start thinking about coming out of this pose. You might want to stay, and that is great. If you're ready to explore and reflect a little bit more with your body, begin to roll yourself up. And we'll come to a seated position just for a few breaths. After a longer hold in a yoga position, especially an internal focused one, anything that's forward bending, it's good to take a few moments to re-equilibrate. And as you're ready, meet me in standing position. You can have your feet together or a little bit apart. Whatever feels most comfortable for you. And notice your weight distributed between your two legs, among all your toes, between your heels, the sides of your feet, And if you'd like to, you can think about drawing up the arches of your feet, drawing those up while your toes, the sides, and the heels of your feet press into the ground. And some of that drawing up energy of bringing your arches up toward your foot, toward your body, can start to bring and draw up the energy of our muscles rather than sagging down toward the ground. We can find ourselves standing tall and steady. Let's move through a few very gentle sun salutations. These are just a series of poses that help to move the blood through our bodies, get our heart rates up a little bit, and can kind of help us to flush out. Perhaps if you've been sitting for a long time in the car or at a chair or in one position watching a football game, kind of flush out some of the stagnation that our bodies feel. Inhale your arms up toward the sky, and exhale, let your body come forward. Reach your hands toward your feet. You can release your head and shoulders any amount that feels safe to you. Keep your heels drilled into the floor for steadiness. Perhaps imagine letting expectations roll off your shoulders onto the floor and float away. Inhale halfway up, coming to a flat back, which can kind of give a nice stretch in your hamstrings. And then as you're ready, bend your right knee. Well, bend both knees, but bring the right one down to the mat, down to the floor. You may want to bring your back knee further back for a stretch in your hamstrings, in your quads, or a more moderate stretch might be the right answer for you. Wherever you are, energetically draw your thighs toward one another. That'll give you a little bit of stability as you bring your torso and upper body up toward the sky. Stretch your arms up toward the sky. Feeling both the stability of your feet and low body and also the lightness, and stretching that spine toward the sky. On your next exhale, bring your hands to either side of your left foot. Inhale your left arm up toward the sky. Do you feel a stretch? I do in my glutes right here. One more inhale, and exhale the hand down to the mat. Bring your left knee back to meet your right. Then bring that right foot forward between your hands. As you feel ready and steady, you can bring both hands to your front knee to help yourself find steadiness, stability. And as you feel ready, if you'd like to, bring your arms again up toward the sky. It's a good balance challenge for our whole core. One more inhale, and exhale, bring both hands down toward the mat. Place your left hand well, inhale your right arm up toward the sky. If you'd like to, if that's accessible for you, you can watch that right thumb. That's a big twist for your whole body. And exhale the right hand back down to the mat. Bring your right foot back to meet your left. Let's ease back into child's pose for a moment, checking in with your body. You might have an expectation of how you want to complete and undertake this practice. I wonder what might happen if you choose at this moment to check in with your body, to deeply listen to your bones at this moment, and perhaps reevaluate what your expectations are. Given that check-in with yourself, if you feel ready and would like to, tuck your toes under, place your hands well, bring your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Pedal your heels just to explore what movement feels like in your legs. Feel stability throughout all of your fingers, finger pads, hands. Inhale and exhale. As you're ready, step your left foot forward between your hands. You can bring your right knee down or leave it up, whichever feels right to you. And then inhale your arms up to the sky one more time. We're exploring the expectations of our stability here. One more inhale. Exhale those hands down to the mat. If you'd like to, inhale that left arm up toward the sky, exploring a twist in this pose. Inhale nice and big. And exhale that left hand back down to the mat. Now we're going to switch legs. You can do that in any way that feels good to you. You could bring yourself back to push-up position and step the right foot forward. You can come to your knees, whatever version or another that works for you. And from here, if you have your knee down or you did on the other side, do the same thing here for some equilibrium, which we all long for in this season and all others. Inhale your arms up to the sky. And as you feel ready, bring those hands back down to either side of your right foot. Perhaps inhale your right arm up toward the sky for a twist in this posture. And then bring that hand back down to the mat. Now, however feels right to you, bring that left foot up to meet the right. You can do it in one step. You can do it in several steps. Whatever way brings those feet back together. Inhale halfway up. Roll those shoulders back, your neck nice and long. And let's exhale, forward fold. Let all of those expectations fall. Let them go. Inhale your arms out and up, nice and slow. And hands to prayer position. Come and meet me in the middle of your mat or wherever feels steady for you. We're going to try tree pose. And as we move into a balance posture, we might expect that our legs are the same, or we might expect that they're different. We might expect that we can move our foot or a leg to a certain height. Let us practice having compassion for ourselves, and wherever meet and accept ourselves, wherever our balance is. You could have your arms down at your sides, prayer position, out, up, YMCA. You can bring your foot to whatever height is comfortable for you. Just avoid right against the knee. Our knees are not made for that kind of sideways pressure. And then as you feel ready, release your first side. And we'll practice again on this other side, being with ourselves as we are, accepting and being content with where we are now, letting go of the expectations that we would be more impressive than we were in the past, or that we would stretch ourselves to greater heights in the future. It is enough to stand here now. And then as you're ready, let go of that one as well. Bring yourself down to a seated position, whatever feels comfortable to you. You want to have your hips higher than your knees. That's why I often use a block that helps keep my hips higher than my knees, which helps with the flow of blood throughout your whole body. The one last thing we're going to do is a pranayama, which is a breathing exercise. So many of the yoga breathing exercises help regulate our nervous system, especially dealing with our vagal nerve. That's this huge nerve right through our throat and our chest that connects to every organ in our body, goes everywhere. It's a witness to everything that happens, and it keeps track of everything. So it behooves us to tend it, to do things that will help strengthen and soothe our vagal nerve, and to help it by doing things to help release all that it carries with us and for us. So one of the ways to release expectations and just release stagnancy in our bodies generally is breathing out. And what I'll show you now is lion's breath. Part of the practice is rolling your eyes back in your head. If that is something that feels interesting to you, feel free to try. If not, don't. If it feels all right with your neck, we'll start with our head back like this. When we take a deep, deep breath, we'll let it all out through our mouths in a really loud, powerful way, hence the lion is kind of how it'll sound. And we'll bring our head forward at the same time, kind of like a roar. If you want to use your hands, you can do that too. You can leave them in your lap. We'll do 3 or 4 of these together. You can do them anytime you want in your life. We'll do these few together. Take a preparation breath or two. We're going to fill up our lungs with a lot of air. Bring your head back, open your mouth wide, maybe even stick out your tongue. Good job. We'll just take a breath or two in between and then do it again. Ready? We'll do one more. Take a deep breath. Good work. We'll take a few moments of relaxation and steadiness here. If you'd like to do that lying down, that's called Shavasana or corpse pose. It's a way at the end of our practice of acknowledging that we've got to let go of everything. In the end, we take nothing with us. And so as we finish our practice, it's an opportunity to practice letting go of expectation. Just like we did in child's pose earlier, it's an opportunity to notice and let go of everything in our bodies, all the places of tension or gripping that we might be experiencing. And I have found in practicing Shavasana in a habitual way over and over again and again, regularly, that by doing this with my body, this practice of ungripping, I'm able also to ungrip, let go of, surrender things in my life. Let your body melt into the ground, knowing that you are held. If you'd like to, you could do a body scan, noticing the points of your body that are just noticing the points of your body. The idea is to rest, not be training your brain at this moment into some kind of performance. Because sometimes we need to take a little baby step toward rest and define a few boundaries for ourselves, and that might be a body scan for you. It might be breaths, noticing them, or it might be letting go of noticing at all. As you're ready, draw your knees toward your chest, maybe using your arms to help you grip. Hold yourself in a gentle embrace, maybe rocking a bit side to side. These are all things that soothe our bodies, that help us recognize that we are cared for and loved, that we are safe. However feels comfortable for you, bring yourself back up to a seated position. Maybe it's rolling back and forth. Maybe it's rolling to your side. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me. The word namaste means God's presence in me recognizes that God's presence is in you too. Namaste.